Welcome, everybody. This is the Beer Guys Radio Show. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We are always happy to see you here with us. We really appreciate it. We're going to jump right into the show here. If you have a comment, a question, let us know what you're drinking. If you can answer any of the questions we occasionally ponder on the show, we always appreciate that too. But with that said, let me see. I got to get over here and keep moving things around on us, Nate. I
They
found
do.
it though. But with that, here we go. Welcome everybody to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Thank you for coming and joining us for a little beverages, some beverages, some conversation, good times. I am Tim Dennis. Brian Hewitt, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
I actually had the day off today, which is nice because I went
Wow.
out and saw a concert last night and I didn't feel
Okay.
like behaving. So I took the day off because I have that power. So
Who'd you see? What'd you go see?
I saw Newfound Glory. Hang on a second. Dang it. What was the other one? The Offspring was the headliner, and Jimmy Eat World was the
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't realize I was as big a fan, I guess, of the Offspring as I am. I seriously, everything they played, I knew. That they did play a lot of old stuff, but there's almost nothing I didn't recognize. Now, I guess they don't have a lot of in the way of new albums. I think they came out with one recently, but I knew all of it. I'm like, oh my god, I know all of this. It's like all of it.
Did they do the low self-esteem one? Is that
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think. I thought that's the one that I know by the Offspring.
They've got so
you know
many
any of those
hits.
bands?
Oh, I know all three of those bands. I
Okay.
grew up listening to all
Okay.
three of those bands.
All right. That's with us. There's enough age difference between Nate and me and Brian that there is some generational gapage there. Occasionally, Brian and I will talk about stuff that we go back just a little too far for Nate there.
Like, all right, who walked into
Jimmy,
the senior citizens home?
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Eat World, or it's Eat, not Eats, right? Jimmy Eat World. That's
Jimmy
newer.
World.
I think that's
they're
they're still
younger.
not new.
And with Newfound.
Are they the aughts?
Yeah, I recognized a couple of the songs of theirs, and they're good. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard this one on the radio a lot. It's like, oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. You know.
All right.
Yeah. But
Nate, how are you doing? Did you do any? Did you have any concertine this week?
I did not have any concertine this week.
Okay.
No, I'm doing well. Last week I was out. I got off work and I got a little overheated last week, and so I laid low and just recovered. And this week I've been consuming way more fluid, and I am
gotta hydrate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gotta hydrate. Good stuff. I didn't go to a concert, but I did experience something this week that was quite nice. I went to a conveyor belt sushi and Korean barbecue place. So where they bring it around. That's exciting stuff. The food comes right to your table, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
It comes by and the sushi goes around like constantly on a conveyor, and you just snatch off what you want there. And then for the barbecue, you order it from like an iPad, and a little miniature bullet train comes out on a track above the sushi and delivers it to your table. So that's cool. Really, really fun stuff. And joking around, but the food quality was stellar. It's like I went to Brian went with me to the conveyor belt joint. We hit the place, but we've gone to places before that do like hot pot and Korean barbecue, and a lot of times they give you really scrawny cuts of meat. Like you'll get it and it's shaved thin. I think because of the hot pot, it's supposed to be thin. But this one, if you got a piece of fish, it was nice fillet of fish. If you got a lamb chop, it was a whole lamb chop and stuff. So it was exciting stuff, Nate. You would have hated it. So
I would have hated it. Do you pay by the plate or do you?
No, it's this one was an all-you-can-eat thing. I think some of them do. You pay by, and to be honest, not bad. $40. And for those that know me or Brian, I mean, we are the ones that got the value out of that. For $40, we made sure to do that. Brian, I noticed I was looking at them after we ate there. They had a pretty extensive, like Asian beer menu. That's I think you went with a little local beer, but I was surprised you didn't try some of the other offerings they had there.
I think the list that I saw didn't have a ton of stuff. I think it only had a couple of few, imports, and I I don't even remember what I went for. Did I get a Tropicalia or something like that? I got the one thing that was like, okay, this is crafty in whatever kind of local
That'll
type of
do.
thing. So yeah, so I got that because
All right.
I'm still not happy with Sapporo, so I'm still not drinking Sapporo. That was featured, and I'm like, I'm
Of
not doing
course,
that.
it always.
Yeah.
I think Sapporo and Kirin are usually ones you see on the menus at those places. Too bad they don't have snow. Start
Yeah, it's a
carrying the
shame.
snow beer at them. Maybe we'll see it eventually since it's over here now.
We do have some, so yeah, it's not
Yeah,
inconceivable.
it'd be fun. Good stuff. Well, guys, speaking of beer, let's get into our beers of the week. Brian, what are you getting into this week?
Yeah, I pre-gamed with a beer I've been meaning to drink. Well, I meant to get and drink around the time the Jaws 50th anniversary was happening a week or two ago when we talked about it, and it's been in my fridge. I forgot. So Narragansett Lager. So I pre-gamed with that. That's an American pre-prohibition lager. It's been brewed since 1890. So good. It's a great beer. You know,
It's a
it's
drinking beer.
nothing wrong with it at all. Enjoyable.
Yeah.
Polish that off. I am drinking a Toppling Goliath Cyber Sioux right now. That's an American IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops. It's good. I'm enjoying it. And later on, after the show, probably with the Patreon folks, assuming I don't drink this one too quickly, I will be getting into an Old Nation single double Simcoe, which is a single hop double IPA, New England double IPA. So it's hazy. It's with Simcoe, like the name says. So that's pretty straightforward. So I'm going very hoppy for the most part today. A lot of Simcoe now that I'm looking at it.
I haven't heard Simcoe mentioned as I just don't think it. Not that they haven't been using it. I just don't think it's the coolest hop right
It's
now.
not. Yeah, it's not a big hype hop anymore. But I mentioned some other beer recently on social media that had Simcoe in it, and somebody's talking about it's like, oh, that's part of one of my favorite profiles. I think it was Simcoe and Mosaic together, and somebody was mentioning like that's my favorite. I homebrew, and that's my favorite combination of hops to use. I'm like, oh, well, cool. People are still
Good stuff.
into Simcoe. Yeah.
Well, that's like your Toppling Goliath, your Cyber Sioux there, Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe. I mean, those are, you don't have any of them newfangled hops this week, Brian.
No, nothing special or,
No.
Yeah.
Drinking the
super
classic, classic hop profiles.
I do look for them, but it's just, this has happened to be what I had available. I didn't have a chance to go out specifically hunting anything this week. So,
yeah. And Nate, how about you? What's on deck for today?
So it is beer adjacent, but I am continuing with my reduced drinking for the month. And so today, my glass I've got from Hop Water, their Ruby Red Grapefruit flavored hop water. And this features Citra, Amarillo, Mosaic, and Azanka hops.
Alrighty. See, I'm gonna have to get some hop water. Like I mentioned last week, beer has not been agreeing with me. Like only one of the three beer guys are actually drinking beer this week. We're really some sad sacks over here. But
I'm drinking for three.
Thanks, Brian. We appreciate you keeping it up there for us. But I'll go and look for some hop water. I meant to get my my goose there.
Oh yeah,
my Dre Fontaine, to see if maybe that would work for me. But
get you some of the fakey cocktails too. The liars, the cocktails.
I really
want
a beer, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I mean, that's kind of, as you may know from the fact that we've been doing a radio show for nearly a decade, I was quite a beer drinker, man. So
yes.
It's been kind of a bummer not being able to enjoy those the way I want to. So, but life happens, man. Life happens.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, guys, moving right along. We're going to start off with some sad news here. Brian had a passing in the beer community.
Yeah, I just saw it right before the show. In fact, Jack McAuliffe, the co-founder for New Albion Brewing and pivotal figure in the modern craft beer movement, has passed away at the age of 80. In 1976, Jack McAuliffe, along with Susie Stern and Jane Zimmerman, launched New Albion Brewing, which is generally recognized as the event that started the modern craft beer movement, along with Fritz Maytag and Anchor. I think both of them together maybe, but this is a little bit more very, very beginning, I think. McAuliffe took his inspiration from the beers he had while stationed in Scotland with the U.S. Navy. They put their brew house together using repurposed materials because there wasn't a lot of brew house gear just running around out there that you could buy. They went on to brew an English-style ale, a porter, and a stout. New Albion inspired prominent figures like Ken Grossman, the founder of Sierra Nevada, and was in the early days incorporated into the brewing curriculum at UC Davis by Professor Michael Lewis. The brewery faced financial difficulties and ended up closing in 1982, way before a lot of other breweries even opened or were ever thought of. A big part of the reason for that was the lack of understanding from lenders about the small scale brewing business model. So they kind of forged new ground here. It had never been done before, and that kind of thing makes lenders a little skittish. And I think that maybe opened up the idea for, or set some groundwork to how this whole thing has to work so people could get financing for things. But anyway, by the time New Albion closed, the number of operating microbreweries in the U.S. had quadrupled. So in that 6-year period of time, they saw significant growth. New Albion and Jack McAuliffe's contributions are recognized in the Brewing a Revolution exhibit in the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. And I got to say, thank you, Jack McAuliffe, for everything you did, and rest in peace.
Absolutely. And Brian, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jack, Susie, and Jane were all inaugural inductees into the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
I believe you're right. Yeah, I believe
they were
so.
part of that inaugural class there. So it's fun to go back and see kind of where all this all started. And again, to me, it's amazing that American craft beer, so to speak, is really less than 50 years old, or right at 50 years old right now.
Very close to 50.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Well, Brian, in some truly crazy news, we talked recently about Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan, I think the last news story we had that have had him involved in it, because he's got this Real American Beer brand. And I think the last story is that I think the beer brand was trying to buy Hooters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And we had kind of discussed there, you can't really be a brewer and a retailer there.
Correct.
Depending on how that does. Now, we do know that there are ways to structure companies in that to make things happen there. So who knows with that? We haven't heard any more on that recently, but new news with Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer brand, and they're facing a lawsuit right now.
Yeah, they may have trouble buying Hooters right now if this goes the way it sounds like it's going.
Lawyers aren't cheap.
Yeah, they just can't stay out of the news. They can't stay out of trouble. Anyway, a branding company named Karma, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Karma with a C instead of a K, is suing the parent company of Real American Beer, claiming they stole the concept for the beer brand. The allegation is that 2 former employees who formed this new company left the branding company, taking confidential information that they used to establish the Real American Beer Company. They also allegedly, were involved in some misconduct while they worked for Karma, and it sounds like there was an inappropriate financial compensation thing worked into a deal that Karma had been working on with Hulk Hogan. I'm not a lawyer here. These are all, I'm just repeating what I'm reading here, so I don't want to get in trouble by anybody. Hulk Hogan had been a brand ambassador for Karma, apparently, and they were trying to launch beers with nearly identical branding to what exists right now, or so they say. Allegedly, the founders of Real American Beer then lured Hulk Hogan away from that deal when they left the company to create the existing brand. Karma is seeking at least $10 million in damages, legal fees, and restitution of $348,000 from one of these former employees and $23,333.33 from the other employee.
That looks like $231,000, Brian.
What did I say?
20. You said 23.
Yeah, 231,000. Yes, you are correct. My reading's not so good here. They are alleging breach of contract and a misappropriation of intellectual property, including business plans and a marketing strategy. Apparently, Hulk Hogan himself is not on the hook for anything here. He's kind of a figurehead. He's kind of an ambassador, so to speak. Nor is the WWE, which actually acquired a minority stake in Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer Company back in January. So they're not getting sued. And I think it's really interesting. I'm not 100% sure how much Hulk Hogan is a name on this, and it's other people doing business with his name, and how much he's even aware of any of this. I have no idea. So
I know I've seen him going around doing like promo events and stuff.
Yes.
But again, he's Hulk Hogan, so he goes out and that helps the brand. I tell you what, Brian, ever since Hogan kind of quit wrestling, none of the news that's come out about him since then has been positive.
That's true.
Things to
Probably
say.
true.
And back, I was never a big wrestling fan, but being a young person in the South, everybody's a wrestling fan. I knew so many
Yeah.
kids who were very, very, very into wrestling. So, seeing Hogan and all these guys, come up that were quote unquote heroes. They even made a TV show about him before his wrestling career called Hogan's Heroes. And that's
did they? Is that what that was about?
Yeah, it was when he was stationed in Nazi Germany during the war.
Got it. Yeah.
That's what that was
that
about.
math checks out. That's definitely how old he is.
Yeah. But no, man, we just haven't heard anything good about old Hulk Hogan.
Even his events when he's figureheading them, I think there were news events about people getting beat up at them or getting injured by mishaps that are happening at him. So everything about this company, this brand, keeps getting into the news for all the wrong reasons. So it's I mean, the Hooters one was the least bad story that we've heard about it, and that was still a little crazy.
It does not surprise me that some of these guys, Brian, I think I may have told the story here before, a little sidebar, but when I was in my early 20s and living in Arkansas, for those that are into wrestling, you'll know that Memphis is a big wrestling town. Memphis wrestling and everything there, I believe. I think Jerry Lawler may have been out of there, a lot of people. But I was shooting pool at a bowling alley in Arkansas, and this guy comes up to me, and he's just like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey." And he's like, "You're a big guy." I just kind of like, "Yeah." He's like, "Look," he's like, "if you're interested," he said, "I will pay the cost for you to attend wrestling school in Memphis." He said he would front me the cost and manage me if I wanted to go to wrestling school. And I had absolutely no interest in it, at all. But he's like, "Hey, I'll cover you. I'll front you for that." And yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? I could have been a big pro wrestler there.
Maybe Terrible Timmy.
Terrible Tim. That would have worked out there. Yeah. But no, okay, wrestling and Hulk Hogan and that. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, Brian, some good beer news out there related to taxes, something we do not hear very often at all. But Missouri's American Beer Act is lowering the excise tax to the lowest in the U.S.
That is right. So the governor has just signed this into law, and it's reducing the state's excise tax rate by 2/3. Like you said, lowest in the country. It went from it's now 62 cents per barrel and down from $1.86. That's a drop of $1.24. So it's pretty considerable. The new rate makes it's the lowest in the U.S., like you said, and the new rate applies to all levels across all production levels. So the big and the small breweries alike, and that includes Anheuser-Busch, which happens to be located in Missouri. They did have a hand in this, and reportedly they helped name the bill. The stated intent of the American Beer Act is to support and strengthen Missouri breweries, the farmers, the suppliers, retailers, and anybody who brews and sells American beer. And I think this will do that. I read a few articles where even the small guys are saying, "Hey, this is really going to help us out." It doesn't sound like a lot, but like we have like razor thin margins, some of these companies, and that this is helping them out. Based on 2024 shipment volumes, this will cut the total excise tax payments from about $6.5 million to $2.1 million. So that's a considerable cut. Anheuser-Busch, the largest producer in the state, is expected to see an effective tax cut of nearly $4 million. So they pay the lion's share of that excise tax. There are a few other provisions in the beer bill as well, which get lost, I guess, in the headline. But this bill will also allow producers, wholesalers, retailers, and unlicensed persons to donate alcoholic beverages to charitable and religious auctions and raffles. It also permits on-premise establishments to stay open 24 hours a day, which is surprising.
That's something. Yeah.
And it expands alcohol sales from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. the next day, so 23 hours a day. Apparently, these last two provisions are in anticipation of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I think they're expecting to be selling beer at all hours of the day all over the place. So they don't want to miss out on any of that money they could be making. So there you go. It's a heck of a deal for anybody making and selling beer.
A lot of states have special laws that benefit government stuff or that. I think I could be totally wrong, but I think airports that there is some lax on when they can sell. And I remember when they were trying to get us earlier Sunday sales that they like we have a convention center here called the Georgia World Congress Center. And, you know, they do a lot of stuff there. And if I remember correctly, they actually were allowed to sell earlier and than all these other businesses, you know, and we had something called the brunch bill and all this about, you know, trying to sell earlier because what was it? I forget the exact time one Sunday, but basically it was a telling to brunch and the restaurant owners were saying, look, we're missing out on lots of mimosas and Bloody Marys here. You know, this is good revenue for us. And so they fought. I think that I don't know what it is now, but I know they got it passed where we did get earlier sales times on Sunday.
Yeah, I want to say that's. I think I've seen it. It's like 11 or 11:30, maybe. Is that?
Yeah,
I think it went
I don't
from
know.
I think it went from 12:30 to 11.
Something
But
like that. Yeah.
Then the stipulation was 50% of your sales had to be from food,
Food. Yeah.
which like meant that your liquor stores couldn't open at 11. But I've seen some liquor stores that open earlier, so I don't know if that's changed.
Yeah. And that's one of the stipulations for us with like brew pubs. You know, they get the special license to brew. But part of that brew pub license in Georgia, you do still have to have 50% of your revenues from your food side of things. You can't be a brewery with like hot dogs and that's it, you know. So in some states have done that. I forget where it may have been Indiana. I forget the brewery, but the way they wrote the law, they wrote it really weird to where it's like you have to offer a soup, a sandwich, and something else. And like this brewery literally got a bunch of cans of Campbell soup and something, whatever it was. It's like, hey, whatever soup you got was just basically whatever can they happened to pick off the top of the stack. Like they did the absolute minimum to meet the state requirements to be able to do that. And I know another brewery, they started doing like pretzels and a cheese dip, and that's all it took. You know, you just have to have some food available there. So it's like, that's it. That's what we serve.
I was just thinking, like, if a liquor store wanted to open earlier, they need to do a combo. Like, yeah, you know, you want to buy that $50 bottle of bourbon, but you have to buy as part of a combo deal with this bag of you know, like $25 Lay's chips. So the chips are $25, but the combo together, it's a total of 50. So like, you want to buy those chips, so yeah, we can sell that to you. Otherwise, you
Make
can't
it work
buy
out.
it. Yeah,
There you
That's
go.
it. That's it. Man, people are very creative with getting around laws and that. You know, we've had to
because it's a stupid law. I mean, that's
Yeah,
really what it is. It's a
yeah.
stupid law. Like, grown-ups are doing grown-up things. They're doing it responsibly. It's not like this is happening out of the back of a van down by the river. People are going into a liquor store, they're showing their ID, they're buying it, and they're going on with their lives. It's a stupid law. That's why people are doing things to get around it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like the states that can't sell cold beer. You know, it has to be served like you can't go throw it in a cooler full of ice and have it cold in 15 minutes. And if you know what you're doing, you can have you a cold beer in like 3 minutes. So
Yes, I've done it.
It doesn't really matter. But yeah, crazy laws everywhere. Well, Brian, some interesting info in the air this time. And so let me ask you this. This will probably be an age separation thing. Nate, have you flown, Nate?
Like, have I been on an
On
airplane?
a plane, like flying?
Yeah,
Okay.
done that before.
Have you ever been on a plane that had like a bar area?
I did a trans-Pacific flight in the late 90s, and if there was a bar area when I was 10, I was not paying attention to it.
Didn't pay attention to it. Okay. Brian, how about you? Have you ever been on a plane with a bar?
I have not that I'm aware of. I think it's
Okay.
possible that I flew on one time where I think if it's one of those ones that has multiple levels, it's possible on the upper level there was, but
Yeah.
if there was, I was unaware of it at the time.
When I was a young lad, I remember flying a couple times and like going, I don't remember if it was just going by the bar or something. And I remember noticing it because I just thought it was interesting that we're on a plane and there's a bar here. This is interesting. You know, like people sitting down having cocktails in an airplane, which I still think is absolutely interesting. But on that note, that's one thing apparently Virgin Atlantic was known for is they had their bars on their planes. But they have said the world is changing, Brian, and they're ditching their in-flight bars.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They've been a signature of the airline since the 1980s, and they're replacing those bars with, wait for it, additional seating.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, really
There
exciting
you go.
stuff. Additional seating.
Yeah.
So nothing good there. In reality, they have been moving in this direction for a while without actually stating it. The bars have been gradually phasing out of the new airplanes since 2019, and they expect to have all Virgin Atlantic planes bar free by 2030. Basically, the guests can still enjoy the existing bars until 2028, and the airline's The Loft, they call it, it's a social space. I guess that will remain on some of their planes, specifically their Airbus A350s. If you know anything about plane sizes or plane models, I don't. That's just one of the ones that was mentioned. This does not mean Virgin Atlantic is going dry. They will continue to serve a variety of alcoholic beverages. Thank God. I kind of want to fly somewhere now just so I can hit a bar at 40,000 feet. I've never done that. It seems kind of like a bucket list sort of thing, but that would be cool. Another thing I'd like to do is go to a bar in a train car. I'd like to do the hanging out at a bar on a train too. I think I've been on a train that had like a restaurant car or some place where you could order stuff, but it wasn't actually a bar. So both of these seem like a very cool idea. And I don't know. I guess they're phasing out. I guess it's not just popular anymore.
So
or I'm in the wrong place for these places. These things.
You still have time, Brian, because when I heard this story and that they were doing away with them, I figured they'd just be scrapping them. But they're saying here, 2028 and fully phased out by 2030. So you have time to plan. Time to plan to get your bar in the sky.
I have time to save up the money too, because I think this is a first class option only. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think first class.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being something that would be a first class type of thing. All right, that's a break point, Brian. I'm going to pause because Brian's camera just died, so we're going to let him try and get his stuff figured out here.
Let's see if I can figure that
Nate,
out.
let's be totally silent for a few seconds so I can see the break in the audio to edit. All right, we can run our mouths again. That's what I figured. He'd just have to drop out of here. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing here with our technical difficulties?
It sounds like Brian just wants to travel without the responsibility of actually doing the traveling and just enjoy a quick beverage.
Yeah, that's it. If they would just, if they did, how they do, like they'll fly you around a city in a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they did that with an airplane with a bar cart, he'd be totally fine. Like if they did, we'll go up and do a loop of Atlanta. You can have a couple drinks. He's like, yeah, that's really all I wanted.
You know what Waymo needs to do? Because in Atlanta, we've got those Waymo self-driving cars.
Right.
They're terrifying to be around, by the way. They are not smart at all. But what if Waymo cars came with a mini bar?
That would be pretty. Now, see, if the cars are driving, I feel like we should be able to do this, Nate. And maybe when they get better, how they have like we've got party buses here, stuff that you can do that. But imagine like a self-driving, party bus that you just go on, maybe a party bus that just does a loop to all the different bars and stuff. Like we have a couple here that do them. I think one of them quit, but that goes around to the different breweries and they'll do a loop to where you can catch. They may go to 5 or 6 different breweries, a couple beer bars, and you can kind of hop on, hop off whenever you want. They just show the stops there. And so if they did that with Waymo, do a Waymo bus that has a bar on there, maybe a little pizza. They do pizza and vending machines now, Nate. So, and the cool thing is there's literally no way that people would make a mess if they had alcohol and pizza on an unmanned bus. So,
especially something that they don't own. Like people take care of things that don't belong to them.
They do. It's respect is what it is, Nate. It is respect for other people. Like a great example is MARTA, our mass transit, and how clean all the buses and trains are there, and how polite everyone is.
And I thought
riding MARTA.
I thought a common example was going to be those Lime electric scooters that you see.
Oh my God, they brutalize those things, man.
That are like just thrown about the city.
Yeah.
It's just common decency. They'll take care of it.
I wish that was not something that like kind of America is known for. I saw this thing where they had this robot that had been programmed. Looks like Brian got sent to prison while he was out there.
I did,
So,
and something is happening with the whole background thing, so I'm stuck with a brick wall instead of what I had for the moment.
All
So
right.
I guess we could proceed with this. I don't know why the other thing's not working.
That's great. People that watch this will be like, "What is going on here?" So,
What's
okay,
happening?
so I believe we had a good downturn in the stopping point there for our Virgin Atlantic story. So we'll come back in here with our next one there then. So, all right. Brian and Nate, I know that this next story is just going to tickle your hearts, guys, because this is a cocktail, and I use the term cocktail very loosely here. And this just sounds horrendous to me, but Miller High Life, if you watch the show for a while, you know that Brian and Nate enjoy a good spaghetti. And for some unknown reason, there is now spaghetti sickles.
That is correct. Miller High Life is at it again. They have partnered with on some marketing stuff here. They have partnered with Tipsy Scoop to release a beer-infused popsicle that is called the Spaghetti Sickle, like you said. The Spaghetti Sickle is inspired by the Spaghetti Cocktail, which is a cult favorite drink made with Miller High Life, Aperol, and they say lemon or lime juice. I think it's always been lemon whenever I've made it. I don't think lime, maybe lime works. I don't know. It's kind of a dive bar twist on the Aperol Spritz, basically. So the limited time frozen treat contains real Miller Lite, Miller High Life, lemon, and a spirit-free aperitif they don't identify, and has up to an ABV of 5%. Apparently, there's some variation of it, but it's not going to exceed 5%. Spaghetti Sickles will be sold in 6-packs for $79.95 on Tipsy Scoop's website and their brick and mortar locations. That's really hard to say. That's about $13.33 per spaghetti sickle, not including tax and other shipping costs that may apply. So that's a lot for a popsicle, but it's an alcoholic one. So there's that. I didn't know this. I learned when I was reading this that the spaghetti cocktail, it was created in, I believe, 2016, and it gets its name from a character in the Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great Job. Did you guys ever watch that show? And were you aware that this was in any way connected to that show? It was an Adult Swim thing.
I've seen the show.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's very weird. Yeah.
It's weird enough that I don't find it entertaining. Like there's a show out now, and actually I don't know if it's still on, but it's called I Think You Can Leave, or I Think You Should Leave. And
sounds familiar.
I forget the name of it's the one that's got the like they did the skit where it's supposed to be a dating show, and it's like I feel like the entire time you're only here for the zip line. No, not ringing bells to you. You know the show. We've talked about it, but
probably
Tim Andrews, is that his name? Nate, do you know that show? I Think You Should Leave.
I have
all right.
not.
All right.
No.
Well, but anyhow, yes, Brian, I'm familiar with the show. It was very weird. I did not find it entertaining, and I did not know about the character. Was the character's name Spaghetti?
Yeah, apparently the character's name was Spaghetti, and he was a connoisseur of the red sauce for spaghetti or something like that, or marinara sauce, like a connoisseur of it. And for whatever reason, the person who created this, and I don't have the name of the mixologist, I believe that they would want to be called, that they created this at some bar in 2016, but apparently, yeah, they were inspired by that. The only thing I know from the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job, is Celery Man, and I've seen that sketch over and over again. The one with Paul Rudd.
Right.
That is, it's bizarre, but I
forgot that was a Tim and Eric thing.
I'm pretty sure that's from that show. It's fantastic. I love it. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but it's beautiful. It's just it's a work of art. I'm sure there's other gems from that show had I watched more of it, but that's the one I found that I've latched onto.
I didn't know Celery Man was part of that, and I've seen that skit like on its own, around there. So perhaps there's other stuff from the show that I'm unaware of. That's where the source of it is. So
I imagine there's a lot of references to that just fly over my head because I have not seen much of it. I don't even know how I saw that. I think it must have been shared it's probably a video that was shared on Reddit or something without any kind of context. And I think I found that it was from that show. and it's like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. So I've seen that multiple times.
Crazy. Nate,
Yeah.
do you know the Tim and Eric show?
I know of it, but I've never seen an episode.
Yeah. You're not missing out on much from what I recall. There are people that are huge fans of it, but it's just
course.
weird, man. It's just weird.
But
Well,
now,
Brian,
for
what's
1333, a popsicle, Brian, would you actually buy one of these popsicles and try it?
You know,
he
here's the
would.
thing.
I'll answer that. Yes. Yeah.
If I could
I
buy
mean,
one, I don't know if I would pony up for $80 to have 6 of them sent to me, but I was hoping one of you guys would, so I can just try.
does
one.
this do they have a shop in Atlanta, this Tipsy Scoop? Because it says something about selling from their website or their boutiques.
Yeah,
their brick and mortars.
Brick and mortar shops. I don't
I've never
know.
heard of
I
them.
don't think so, but
Okay.
maybe. I want to say this is either a Chicago or a New York thing. I don't actually recall which. Anyway, yeah, I don't believe so. Maybe Mo Mike Nate can do a little Googling and see where their locations are, but I don't think they're
Okay.
here. If they were, I would go in. I'm like, you know what? I'll try it once for $13.
Nate, why don't you just make your own, man?
So that's the thing is like I don't think I could do a popsicle, but I could definitely do like a frozen spaghetti where I make it like a slushy.
So
Yeah.
here, let me tell you how to get popsicles. You go buy some little Dixie cups, the tiny ones like you get at the water fountain,
Mhm.
and then all you got to do is put like a piece of saran wrap over top of that, and put a toothpick down.
That's
in
actually a
there,
really
or-
good point. I completely forgot
Yeah.
about that.
or a
You're right.
chopstick if you got so yeah, you could do that. And that, I mean, they do sell popsicle molds. If you Nate, are popsicles, I know you were an ice cream guy, but are popsicles on your radar as well?
I haven't dabbled in them, but I may now have to create a batch of spaghetti and
Yeah,
attempt
Nate's-
this. Because
Get-
what have you been up to lately, Nate? Oh, I'm just dabbling in popsicles.
dabbling in popsicles. Get one of the ones the large cocktail squares if you don't already have one of the molds. But I've
I
got one
do.
that makes the big squares. It makes 6 of them. Do the same thing with the saran wrap over the top or whatever, and toothpick or 2 in it to give you
Aren't those a
hold
little
on it.
big to popsicle with, though? I mean, to just, aren't you talking like large ice cubes?
Are
Brian's
you judging me in my preferred shape of popsicles, Tim? Is that what's happening here? I'm getting judgment.
You know, I was gonna say I'm not gonna judge you, but yeah, man,
You totally
I
are
mean,
judging me.
You're not gonna sit around and eat a Rubik's cube off a darn toothpick.
Maybe I am, Tim.
All right,
Maybe.
man.
Brian, I'll
You-
use my sphere molds, and you can just have a big old globe of
I
spaghetti.
like this a lot. Yeah, get a bigger stick on it
Just
so it
put
could be a giant
just stick
frozen.
a butter knife in it and
Yeah.
freeze it.
Yeah,
I
there
did.
you
So
go.
I did look it up. The closest Tipsy Scoop to us here in Atlanta is in DC. So
Okay,
road trip to it.
Is not close. Is not close. Yeah, I know we have some ice cream shops here that have done some boozy flavors, and they've actually collaborated with some of the breweries here to do different
Yes.
ice creams. So
That was a hot thing for a while. Like there
for
was
a minute, yeah.
Yeah, everybody had their own flavor of ice cream coming out. Was it the King of Pops or somebody like that was doing them, or there was another brand that was doing them too? But anyway,
Yeah, there was a brand, and I forget the name of it, but they did like pints. And for
Yeah.
a while there, you kept hearing about new collaborations, new things they were doing in that, but I haven't heard them mentioned in forever now. I guess with the reduction in drinking, people don't need boozy ice cream as much anymore either. Alcohol's
Too
leaving
bad.
everywhere, Brian.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Well, Brian, before we move along to our next crazy story, how about we give a shout out to Truck and Tap?
that's a great idea. So summer continues to burn, and the best place around to get a cold, refreshing beer is your local Truck and Tap. But there are so many beers to choose from. How will you ever decide? I can help with that. Here are my Truck and Tap beer picks for the week. At Truck and Tap Woodstock, I'm going with Creature Comforts Theodore on the side pull tap. Theodore is a North German Pilsner, North German, not just any part of Germany, the North part, with assertive hop qualities, a dry body, and a crisp finish. I feel a little refreshed just talking about it already. At the Duluth location, I'm getting Trillium's double dry hopped Fort Point IPA. I never pass up an opportunity to get some fresh Trillium, and neither should you. This New England IPA features Citra and Columbus hops, in case you were curious. At the Truck and Tap Alpharetta location, my pick is another German Pilsner on the side pull tap. This time it's Radix from Halfway Crooks. Radix features Hallertau Blanc hops from the Seats farm in Bavaria. So it's a German Pilsner made with German hops, and that just makes sense. So you got to get that. And yeah, side pull tap, man. And finally, at the Lawrenceville location, I'm going with WeldWorks Kiwi Lime White Chocolate Sparkler, purely because this just sounds crazy. It's a pastry sour with lime, kiwi, white chocolate, and vanilla. I don't even know if that sounds good to me, honestly, but it's so wild I'll have to try it. It's WeldWorks, so it's probably going to be good. It's just going to be unexpectedly good, maybe. And so there you have my beer picks for the week. As always, if you'd like to see the full list of taps before you stop by, take a look at truckandtap.com. And if you'd like to see what food trucks are serving and what events are happening, and yeah, you can find that at truckandtap.com too. There is no shortage of answers that you can find at truckandtap.com. And if you're not finding an answer, you need to ask better questions. So go check it out, truckandtap.com. And thank you to Truck and Tap for your support.
That logic checks out, Brian.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brian, I mean, kind of tied into crazy spaghetti or popsicle beers and that, all of these, it's interesting seeing what some of the big beer brands do for marketing. And I think Coors and Miller both have put out some crazy stuff. Like, was it the beer drops that we got?
Yes.
And I think that was Light. I think that was Miller Light that did those. And then the latest we've got is from, Brian still got his, do you break into those every now and then for old time's sake, Brian? Put a couple drops in something?
I've used them once or twice, and
are they still
great.
Awful?
Oh yeah, they didn't
macerate any for you there?
No.
That's
They didn't
bad.
age and become a fine
fine
dropper
Pilsner beer.
No.
Yeah. But from Coors Light, Brian, the latest marketing gimmick is the Coors Light Cold Tux.
Yeah. So yeah, Coors Light did not want to be left behind in the marketing shenanigans. Miller has been killing it lately with that. So this is just in time for wedding season. The whole point of this is the Coors Light Cold Tux is to keep you from frying while you're attending all these outdoor summer weddings in the middle of July and August heat. It's the first ever wedding attire engineered to keep you cool, according to the website. And here's a quote: crafted with ice cold cutting temp technology and woven with Rocky Mountain refreshment. So that is officially what this is made of. The suit jacket includes an adjustable chillostat with a digital readout. This is on the inside of it, and a Rocky Mountain refrigeration coil. So I think there's one on either side on the inside, and they glow blue when they're running. There's also an extra stealthy ice pack built into it. It comes with a burr tie, which is a tie with a ice gel lining and cold retention collar. So it's not clear to me if the Coors Light Cold Tux is already sold out, or if it's just a joke, or if it's coming soon. The buy it now link on the website doesn't really do anything. It just goes to the shop. There's nothing there. But there are videos with people wearing it. There's several of them. So at least a few of them were made. Yeah, but I can't tell for sure if this is a real thing or how much it was. I didn't have enough time to really search it out, though.
From my searching here, and this was with the aid of AI, so please excuse me if this is not accurate information, but according to this, the Cold Tux itself was not available for sale. They did not do that.
Okay.
But they did offer a limited number of those burr ties available. So
it was the ties.
They said they had the bow ties inspired by the Cold Tux were priced at $32. And they were available for purchase on 2 separate dates in June of 2025 at thecoldtux.com. So apparently they did make the bow tie. And I think if I remember seeing right, looking at the website on that, the bow tie, like they did all this fancy stuff claiming, that you had a thermostat and all these chill things inside the suit. But if I remember on the bow tie, I think it had like you froze some ice packs and inserted it into a little pocket there or something.
That sounds about right, actually. Yeah.
So that was the thing there. But yeah, and I did look as well when you shared that link and could not find it anywhere. But apparently they did do. Yeah, I'm looking right now, Brian. The burr tie has an advanced ice gel lining, a cold retention collar that lasts an entire wedding, Blue Mountain temperatures cool the most heat sensitive part of the body. They got, it's a bow tie with a dark blue background and then the light blue mountains there.
Yep.
And so yeah, apparently it's kind of like an ice pack inside a bow tie thing. You throw your tie in the freezer and I mean, to be honest,
smart.
that'd probably keep you kind of cool. Yeah, it would
That's
probably
smart.
kind of work to do that.
If I were going to, and I have no plans to attend any weddings anytime soon, but I would look for something like that. And somebody needs to do like a cold pack vest, so you wear the vest on the inside the suit.
Yeah.
And I want the entire thing to be like a gel pack liner.
Little
put that on
cummerbund with an ice pack right in the center there.
There you go, perfect. And,
with a little planning, you could almost have a cold tux. So.
I'd be out there shivering. Is that guy shivering? I'm like,
people walking by you, you're actually giving off cold there.
The steam air out, when it's really cold out. Like, how on earth are you doing that?
What is he even up to there?
Yeah, because it's hot outside. I know that because I was in an amphitheater yesterday in this heat, and wow, dang, I could have used a burr tie.
A burr tie?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You had to just stick for a burr, didn't you? Just have you a couple expensive burrs.
I did. I think I was drinking like $15 Tropicalias, but they were tall boys. They were stovepipes. So yeah, long beers, but still they weren't cheap.
We went to see Foreigner years ago, and that's for those that may be newer to the show. We interviewed the guitarist, I think, or bass player, I forget, for Foreigner. This has been a long time.
He was a guest. He was not guest guitarist, but he's a guitarist. Watson, was it Bruce?
Bruce Watson, I believe so.
Yeah.
But Bruce, him and the keyboardist for Foreigner were craft beer guys. And we just happened to get connected with them and do a quick interview. And they gave us tickets to their show in Atlanta. And when we went out to see them here, it was 100 degrees. I mean, we were just drenched in sweat, just walking.
Yes.
And I remember, Brian, I think we had some Sweetwater IPAs and Yinglings, I think, were the two beers there, and they were in the big tall cans. And I like Sweetwater IPA pretty well. Yingling is fine. Neither one of those would have been my first choice, but they were at that time some of the finest beers I've ever had in my life. When you get a couple of ice cold beers and you're just absolutely drenched in sweat. So
I want to tell you, I'm pretty dumb because I saw that this was an amphitheater, and it did not even occur to me this was outside. So I made zero preparations for it.
Don't you have a fan thing, like a hang around your neck fan?
Yep. Did not bring it. Yeah. I could have charged it up and brought it, and that makes a huge difference. Nope. Didn't have it. I've worn it places where it's hot. It helps a lot. Yeah. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, empathy. Yeah. It's just a, whatever inside place. And then I realized like, oh, that's right. Amphitheater's the outside thing. I'm an idiot. So I fried.
So I forget, Brian, the brand name right now, but they've been advertising on Facebook this fan that it like folds into something, kind of looks like a big pancake or cheeseburger. And
cool.
And you recharge it. And this seriously runs like 2 days on a charge. So you can take it anywhere. And they got me with that. I bought one of them. So that would have been perfect, Brian. You could have set it next to your chair, and it oscillates. It has different settings. And if it got a little dark when you were trying to get out of the aisle to get another beer, it has a light on the base that you can turn on and off. So, you could have taken that with you to the concert and set a fan up right there in the aisle, had your own personal cooling system.
That would have been amazing. I saw somebody, and apparently they let him in through security. I don't know how it made it in, but one of the, the battery that clips on where you drill or whatever, Ryobi or whatever, they had a fan that clipped into one of those, and they had this massive battery pack with a fan on top of it. And I'm like,
then you probably Venti fan, I think is what it's called. Not sponsored, not an advertisement, but I think it's called the Venti fan, Venty. Okay. And it even comes with a little carrying case. You zip it up and it's got a handle and everything, Brian. That would have been perfect for your amphitheater shenanigans.
I am getting one. So yes. Yeah. Unless they send one to me, they could become a sponsor. We'll welcome anybody.
We'll give a fan another shout out.
That's right.
One was complimentary, y'all. That one was complimentary.
Yeah. You get the first one for free. You get that taste, but from now on you have to pay.
Yeah. Remember when we were sponsored by Pork Rinds? And like we got a case of all kinds of pork rinds every month.
Yeah, they were delivered too for a while. Oh yeah, man, I missed that.
That was good times.
We
miss
still
you,
love you,
pork
pork
rinds.
rinds. You could send
We
us.
do.
We could work out something.
We do. It was, that's something. And folks, here a little pitch to maybe support us on Patreon if you'd like to. That it was a lot easier to get sponsors when beer was doing really well. Because right now breweries, they're not looking to spend a lot of money on podcasts and that. So again, we appreciate Truck and Tap very much because they've stuck with us, since the foundation's there. But one of our big sponsors, before they were bought was Terrapin, so we had the Terrapin ATL Brew Lab, and then they got bought by Tilray, right? Weren't they one that got gobbled up by Tilray?
Yeah.
And so it changes the game out there, man. So
it does.
Pork rinds were sending us pork rinds and, advertising on the show and everything. And no one loves us anymore, Brian.
We had that big rind money back then.
Big rind money. We just had big rinds, man. We were happy with that. We're easy to please. We're going to send you guys a case of pork rinds and say, yeah, we can.
You'd occasionally pull out one that was nearly the size of the bag, and that was always a great moment.
And I will say this. So the brand was Southern Recipe Small Batch. And I will give them props. One of the reasons that we agreed to work with them is they truly are extremely good pork rinds. So they do a lot of creative flavors. They're
the Korean
they're
kimchi
high quality.
one.
Yeah. So good
Spicy
stuff.
pickle.
Anyhow, come back to us, pork rinds. Come back to us.
We still love you.
Well, Brian, moving along here, we've got another fun story. Drinking customs, always interesting to hear about those, and we always get some of those like at Oktoberfest, what they're going over there and stuff. But you've got a neat little list for us of some unusual drinking customs from around the world.
Yeah, and I totally stole this from VinePair, but this is a cool list. I've not heard of most of these. They don't do beer toasts in Hungary. Clinking beer glasses together is considered a social faux pas. This tradition dates back to the Hungarian Revolution in 1848, when Austrian generals allegedly were clinking their glasses together while they were executing Hungarian rebel officials. So Hungarians vowed to never toast again with their beer for 150 years, and they still don't because it's been 150 years and they're still not doing it. So this is one I think they didn't say was specifically to any region, but apparently an even number of olives in a martini is considered unlucky. Have you ever heard of this, Mike Nate? The number of olives?
No, I'm not a big martini drinker, so I don't really pay much attention to martini drinking culture.
Okay. Anyway, I guess the superstition they think it likely stems from the culinary rule that odd numbers of items are visually more appealing when you're plating things, and bartenders like to say that 1 olive for elegance and three olives if you want a meal. So there's the thing that we. Yeah.
Dirty martini, 3 olives. You know what? Let's make it 5. Let's not play games here. Dirty martini, 5 olives.
Would you like to supersize that martini?
I would. Yes.
You've probably seen this before, tapping the table before shots. It's common in the U.S., Mexico, and Central Europe. You tap the bottom of a shot glass on the table after the cheers, but before taking a sip from it. The origin is unclear, but one theory suggests it's a 5th century Saxon practice to ward off evil spirits. Today, it's generally understood to be a sign of respect to the establishment and a toast to those who are no longer with us. Italy has an entire ritual around spilling wine. Spilling wine is considered bad luck. To counteract that bad luck, you dip your fingers in the spilled wine and dab it behind your ears as though it were a fine perfume or something. Reportedly, the act has something to do with transferring abundance to your soul, which I guess is a lucky thing. Peru has something called a beer circle, where instead of individual beers, friends get together and share one large bottle and a single small glass. The buyer fills the glass, drinks it, and passes it to the next person. The person who finishes the bottle is responsible for buying the next round or the next bottle. So that's how you keep that going. Kind of convenient. I don't
share
know.
One glass, though?
Yeah, that seems really weird. Couldn't we all have a different glass and just pour it?
A lot of times the communal thing, though, a lot of places the communal thing is it's a bonding. I know a lot of the stuff I've seen of like Latin American or African tribes, it's a communal drink and they pass it around.
I was thinking it reminded me of something I would have seen in like a Viking show or something about that. We pass around the thing and everybody takes a hit off of it. All right. Whatever. Keep your empties off the table in Russia if you don't want to commit a social faux pas. Leaving an empty bottle on the table is considered a bad omen. Empty bottles belong on the floor when you're in Russia. The origin of this is not clear, but it's either about evil spirits in empty bottles, or it has to do with 19th century soldiers hiding their empties to reduce their bar tabs when they were in Paris. So I believe the latter. I think this is a practical thing. We're going to save a little money, and that became part of the thing. They drink from the bride's shoe at Ukrainian weddings. If a guest removes the bride's shoe, they can order the wedding party members to drink from it. Often a glass is attached to the shoe to make it more of a symbolic, hygienic type of thing. So you don't actually drink from the shoe, but you sort of do. They do something similar to this in Australia that we have talked about called a shoey, where they actually do drink from a shoe. It's still pretty gross.
A politician did that recently to celebrate something, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was leaving office. I think he did that on the floor of Parliament. Yeah, right.
All right.
There.
Rock on, man.
And we have one last one. I don't know if you've heard of this, but Europe is all about unbroken eye contact during toasts. Maintaining eye contact from clinking of the glass to taking the first sip is considered important. Breaking eye contact is believed to bring 7 years of bad luck, or according to some people, bad sex. The tradition comes from medieval Europe, where vigorous clinking of glasses allowed drinks to mix, and sustained eye contact indicated trust, signifying the drink wasn't poisoned. So mixing them together ensured that if anybody was poisoning anybody, they were poisoning everybody, including themselves. And it's all about trust. So there you go. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but yeah.
So I was told this is a tradition, and I don't know, but I think it's in Colombia. There's a spirit called aguardiente. I believe it's what it's called. Okay. And I think it's Nate, do you know what exactly aguardiente is?
It's from South
Is it a
America.
sugarcane drink? I think it's like kind of an unrefined rum kind of thing. But it's popular. It's kind of like every country has their. It's maybe like their Malort. I don't know. That's probably degrading to aguardiente, because I believe it is pretty popular there. But I went to a party at a friend's house. He was a Colombian guy, and when I got there, they gave me this necklace that had a shot glass on it. And he said that it was kind of a tradition there that they would carry around a bottle of aguardiente, and if they passed you and they would always fill your shot glass, your necklace. Now it was a tiny shot, maybe like a half shot size thing. But basically they went around and people had necklaces, and someone would have a bottle of aguardiente, and he'd go around pouring everybody shots in their necklace glass there. And it's a good time. We ate and drank, and I took bunches of shots of aguardiente. It was a good time.
So are you saying flavor wise, it was on par somewhat with Malort, or is it just
no? It was actually, from what I remember, it would have been like an inexpensive white rum, like an unaged rum was kind of what I remember.
Cachaça or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was. I think it would have been along those lines. So, okay. Yeah, but it was a good time, man. It was a good. So here again, I do not recall this, but apparently it's made with anise seed, so it does have like a licorice note to it. So, but it is sugarcane, anise seed, and aguardiente translates, Brian, you might have been able to guess this one, to burning water. So get you a little hot water there.
Hot water. Delightful.
Interesting, but a good time all around. We all thank you again for coming and hanging out with us. We definitely appreciate it. Again, if you enjoy what we're doing, we would love for you to tell a friend or support us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/beerguys. We'll get you some cool swag, and we'll get you in our Discord server to hang out and chat with us about all kinds of random stuff and just things. We talk about beer, we talk about concerts, we talk about food. So it's just it's all out. There's no rules there, Brian. There's literally no rules there.
What's the phrase? No rules, just right. I think
just right. That's it.
From
is that a steakhouse or something?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know.
But y'all, thanks. We really appreciate it. We hope that you all have a really good week, and do not forget to drink local. Cheers. Clear. Y'all, thanks. We're going to wrap it up. Again, if you are a Patreon supporter, we're going to post the link over in the Discord server for you to come and hang with the after party. We're going to be run their mouths and having a couple more beers. But y'all have a good week. We'll see you soon.